To answer your question, yes, we are two adult women. And yes, we love Bieber, and that's why we're publicly stalking him.
We're crazy.
Hey! Maybe he's what America needs. One nation under Biebs. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We love Justin Bieber, and let us be clear, we're not being ironic at all.
Hosted by Corinne Fisher and Rosebud Baker.
And we have got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we have.
It's actually not the most current news, right?
Well, this is just news. It's not news that's super current. Which one are we doing first? I was like,
Well, okay, we're talking about, all right, first Kanye West and Joe Rogan.
okay, yeah. So that's. I mean, I'm guessing that's out by now.
You think it'll be out by now?
I would hope. You can't leave people waiting too long for the Kanye episode.
That's true.
And Joe Rogan does release in a pretty timely manner. You don't record that much in advance.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we haven't heard it, so we're recording this ahead of time, and we were just talking about how like Joe Rogan is the smartest person in show business right now for getting this shit going.
Yeah, because in the climate that we live in, where everyone's getting attacked, you can't talk to anyone, everyone has an opinion, and somehow that opinion means something, and you can ruin people's careers even if you yourself don't have a career, which is fascinating to me. He's someone who can talk to anyone. He can interview the most hated people on the internet. We were talking, Jordan Peterson, Owen Benjamin, people who, Owen's a personal friend of mine, and Jordan I like, and I don't understand why everyone's so fucking mad about everything that he says, but I feel like that way about a lot of people.
I mean, I understand.
It depends. Some things. I have a book, I saw him speak, and it was very, not edgy. Nothing about it was edgy. I was underwhelmed, if anything.
It's hard to offend me as a comic. It's hard to offend me. I don't, but I understand why people get offended. Because people will write why they're offended, and they'll write long form articles about it. I
just feel like they're
to the point where you watch it and you go should I be offended? It's they can be very convincing. I have to give just honestly props to millennials, because when we were 23, nobody gave a fuck about what we thought. Nobody cared.
They have somehow manipulated it so that we care what young people think now.
I mean, they've made it so that if you hurt a millennial's feelings, you lose your job. It's fucking impressive. I'm like, that's a skill, dude.
I was thinking today that I wish I was a younger millennial, because then I feel like I could have gotten through math class by saying no, but I felt like the answer was 24. And I was like, you can get away with that.
But I felt this, and you can't argue with my feelings.
Yeah.
I've used that argument on my boyfriends so many times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm
like, well, I feel like this. So.
And it is a time when you do have to at least acknowledge that someone's feelings are valid. And I try to do it because I feel like maybe it's the right thing to do, and it hurts my soul every time.
Yeah, listen, your feelings are valid. Are they my responsibility? No, the fuck they aren't.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think they're valid, but I also think, are they right? No.
Yeah, no, a feeling is not a fact. And that is something that people...
Oh, that should be the slogan for, 2018, a feeling is not a fact.
Yeah. Well, it's a slogan in AA, so...
Oh, is it?
It is. Feelings aren't facts.
God, that's so funny. I love that.
Yeah,
that gives it more legitimacy.
I know. I shouldn't have said that, because I'm not supposed to speak about
concepts. Are those rules?
It's fine. They're not gonna kick me out, But
I didn't know those were secret.
Yeah, you're not supposed to talk about it on the level of press, radio, and films and stuff. It's just but everybody does,
I feel like they're just saying that because they want you to enter the program.
Well, it's not like that. It's just it doesn't help. It doesn't help people when you promote something. It's they have to make the decision to come on their own. So I think the reasoning behind it is really valuable.
You don't want it to be trendy.
Well, not that. It's like you just don't want to push something on someone that doesn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just don't do that to people.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
and especially like if I was drinking and somebody was like pushing it on me, I'd be like, I'm never going there in my life, you know. So anyway, but yeah, feelings are not facts. So that's something to keep in mind when you're listening to
I love that.
Kanye's interview with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and we didn't say it, so
Right.
An established organization said it.
Yeah.
So do you have any predictions for what kinds of things are going to come out in the interview? Definitely one weird sex thing is going to come out.
For sure. I mean, you heard his album, right? When he was like talking about fucking her sisters.
I got off the Kanye train a while back.
I was like, this is fucking filthy.
I follow him on Twitter, I think still, but apart from that, I was like, I don't even have any anger against him because I feel like thinking that you're a genius resonates too deeply with me. So I never got mad at him for being cocky. That's not a thing I get mad at people for, but I don't know. I stopped listening to his.
What about the slavery was a choice thing?
I heard him say that. Again, I mean, that's just not something for me to really speak about. I mean, it's not a great thing to say. And also, the very definition of slavery goes against choice. So it doesn't even make any sense.
Right. I mean, he did sound like someone who, had recently gotten out of a mental institution.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that.
And it is weird because there's been so much conversation about not making fun of people with mental illness, but I feel like when it comes to Kanye, that rule goes out the window.
Well, that's the thing is that's the reaction to mental illness. They're like, oh yeah, well, we all have to be like woke about this stuff. But it's like when you're faced with mental illness, when you're like dealing with it directly, you're like, I don't know. I don't know how to interact with this. I don't, because it's, when you're talking about somebody in like a manic bipolar, when they're manic, I don't know. You can't talk about it like, you can't talk to them like you would talk to someone who is just regular.
Yeah, be careful about mental illness, be aware of mental illness unless the mentally ill person is a Republican.
I mean,
then fuck them.
I mean, no, I don't even think it's like that. It's just like you look at
I think part of it 100% is that.
Well, yeah, I guess people go, oh, well, that's politically not what we are talking about. But it's also like nobody is talking about that. Like, Republicans aren't saying that slavery wasn't a choice. Literally the only person saying that is someone who just got out of a mental institution. So when people flip out about that, when people flip out about that, I'm like, this has nothing to do with your politics. It's the guy is bipolar.
I'm thinking like, because Kim, though she seems vapid, seems pretty mentally stable.
Yeah.
She never tweets anything or puts anything on Instagram where I'm like, oh, she's off her rocker. She's boring, if anything.
She seems actually very reserved to me.
Yeah, I would say she's the most boring out of the sisters. And in Hollywood, boring is kind of complimentary.
I would say reserved more than boring. I mean, she's like, her life is just like,
well, her life and the things that she has is glamorous, but I couldn't imagine having a discussion with her.
See, to me, that's more interesting than somebody that like has it all out there. Like I'm really interested in the people that are like, are making all this shit happen, but they're not talking about it a lot. It makes me go like, I want to ask questions.
Oh, because for Kim, I feel like Kris Jenner's behind Kim. Like she's the puppet, and then the other sisters learned by being ignored, and they're like, we're gonna take notes and just do this ourselves.
God, I relate to that on a personal level so much. It's like, it hurts. I'm like, really? You think so? I mean, didn't know that was something people picked up on. Oh my God.
Oh God.
I mean, having sister, like, I really, truly would love to do a reality show with my sisters.
Yeah, you have an interesting family. I follow your entire family on Instagram.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if I follow your mom. I should. I'm not sure, but I'm very familiar with her work.
Yeah.
And then Jackie, never met her, but do I follow her on Instagram? Yes, I do.
Yeah. Did you see her story about how she like fully beat her face, even though
I didn't see that one.
She was like, yep. She's like, she did a full face of makeup and then stayed in her apartment and was just like posing for Instagram.
Good for her.
Like this with like music.
How old is
Jackie?
Jackie?
What are you doing? She's 20 something.
Okay.
I forget.
Older or younger than Mary Stewart?
Younger than Mary Stewart.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so
and then
funny.
Mary Stewart is like, Mary Stewart is interesting because like some of her stories, I'm like, you're literally ripping me off right now. Like you're like doing my thing.
You're inspiring. What's your thing? Talking to the camera?
Like shitting on people around me, you know what I mean? And like basically having a temper tantrum on Instagram stories. She never did that before. It was always just like stories of her friends. And I'm like, I get it. She's like, the more I get to know Mary Stewart and the longer she's been in New York, the more I'm like, I'm grateful because she is definitely the only one who thinks I'm funny. Like,
really?
Yeah, because
she looks up to you definitely, but that's normal because I can tell now that we're older that my brother like is inspired and looks up to me, which is how it should go in a like a functioning family. I just didn't realize it.
Are you ever like, can you like love me just like a little bit less?
Well, I just always want to make sure I'm being loved as like the real life Corinne and never for my achievements. And that, I don't think that at all about him, but I want to be careful that those things do not become intertwined.
Right.
Where you don't, remember that I'm still a shitbag.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
I always remember that you're a shitbag.
Thank you. And you don't even know me that well yet, so buckle up.
Here we go. No, but sometimes I'm like, can you just like, sometimes I wonder if Kim Kardashian is like, stop stealing my thing. You know what I mean? If she ever feels like that.
There's a few instances on the show when she's definitely kind of had a tantrum like that, or voiced that to her sisters that they were jealous of her, and it comes off snotty in the first moments, but then when you let it sink in, you're like, she's absolutely right.
Yeah,
they are jealous of her.
Yeah.
The whole world is jealous of you in some way, even if we don't admit it.
Yeah. I think because sometimes I'll be like, this is the problem. I feel like if you're a younger sibling, and I do think about that sometimes, because I'll shit on them for not being more like me, and then when they do act like me, I'm like, stop stealing my thing. Like, stop, like, get your own fucking shit. You know?
I think that's one of our deepest bonds, is that we both hate when people copy us.
Yeah.
Like, people always will DM me, like, what lipstick are you wearing? I'm like, I will tell you when I'm fucking dead. Like, I never tag where I got anything from.
Yeah.
Where's my couch from? I hired someone to build it by hand from a dream I had. Get the fuck out of my DMs. I am crazy. And I've been like this since I was a little kid. I remember one time I had this book of fairy tales that I loved, and it was so nice, and I got so much joy out of it, and my mom tried to buy it for my friend Adrian, and I was like, oh, are we just trying to make everyone sheeple, Mom? I thought I was a unique individual.
See, I'm not like, I'm like that with my sisters.
I'm like that with everyone.
But let me tell you something. If my sisters have something I like, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna take credit because I'm the oldest, and I'm gonna be like, I found it first, and they'll be like, no, you literally took it from my closet, and I'll be like, I still found it.
I once had to call my therapist because someone close to me got the same pants as I did. Have I worn those pants since? No, I have not.
Although, obviously when it comes to jokes, I want to fucking flip the fuck out if somebody.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a difference between stealing and just having a similar idea.
Yeah, if somebody has a similar idea, then I'm like, whatever joke I have, I'll throw it out. Like, if somebody has a similar idea to a joke I have, I'll be like, oh, my thought wasn't original enough. I have to throw it out.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And I'll just be like, all right, well, I'm not doing that joke anymore. Like, I'm at this point where, this is totally off the topic. We're just like riffing about comedy now, but I'm at this point now where I'm like, if I don't even want to talk at all about anything unless it really fucking means something to me.
Yeah, you don't want to just pick out of the kind of hot topics of the day, like whatever's trending.
Or even,
that's what a lot of people do.
Even like talking about like, I don't know, like I was trying to write jokes about dating, and I was like, I hate this.
That's not who you are or who you want to be as a performer.
I mean, I wanted to talk about it because it's like
did.
something that I was going through. Like,
Okay.
I'm like, it's something that I'm going to be going through, and I was trying to talk about it like that. But I was like, yeah, I just don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, yes, dating is something that's very relatable to everyone. And like, if I wrote a bit about it, it's easy to joke about, but it's such a common thing, such a common subject.
Yeah, you have to have a kind of a really hot take on it.
Yeah.
I have a very unique dating situation right now. That's why I wrote a joke about it, but
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some truly, like, I mean, inspirational comics or just people who are doing things outside of the box always fall into this trap of doing dating material or like lose their essence when they got into a relationship because they felt like they had to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not naming names obviously, but I'm thinking of one particular person who I thought was just an outstanding comic, and then kind of started talking about these same topics that everyone talks about, and I was like, this is not.
Yeah.
You lost your luster.
Yeah. It's hard, like, because when you're writing about, you know, you have an act and then like your life changes and it happens so fast that then your act no longer feels like who you are. So you're on stage and you're just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh, I always know that my jokes no longer mean anything to me personally when like jokes that have worked for years like start bombing. I'm like, oh, I can't do this joke anymore. Because I mean, for some of them, like my old breakup material, I was like, oh, still had some pain. That's why they were working. And now I think no matter what I do, because it's not like acting stand up. I can't act like I can act heartbroken in a, you know, TV audition.
Yeah.
I can't act heartbroken in my set because I don't do a character. I am me.
Right. And and also like I have to slow myself down so much in order to relax, to put myself in the position of someone that would, like, you know, when you're acting and you're like, I don't feel this, so you have to like really like focus on like relaxing to get into it.
Method.
And like I can't do it. So yeah, you're right. Like if a joke has always worked and it starts bombing, I'm like, oh, it's done.
And I also kind of don't want to, because it's like, oh, I've obviously done the work to get out of that bad place that I was in when I wrote that joke. And the joke was part of the healing process. And I'm like, okay, it's not worth it. I mean, at a certain point for me, it's not worth the joke to spiral again.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the shit that I'm writing now is such a fucking, it's so different than what I was doing. Like when I started doing comedy.
I love it.
It's, you know.
It's good. It's growth.
It is. It's growth. That's how growth happens. Anyway, what were we going to say? Kanye, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
What is he going on there to talk about exactly? Like, does he have something to explain or what?
I mean, I think it's the only safe platform for someone who society has stopped accepting at this point. It's truly like your answer is the Joe Rogan podcast has become like the 2020 interview on Friday night, or like whoever, because I mean that's where they would, you know, used to interview. I don't know if they ever interviewed like a Casey, the one who killed her, Anthony, but like that's the type of people that they would sit down with on 2020, like the kind of hot villain of the time. And now you can't even do that because the network would be attacked for even giving that person screen time.
Or a platform. Right.
So now Joe Rogan's the place that the misfits go, I guess.
Right, because everyone is terrified of like giving someone a platform that isn't enjoyed or like, or that isn't like agreed with.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is the greatest example.
We're so fucked culturally. We're so fucked.
Yeah, he's the greatest example of like how important it is to go out and create your own thing so that you have created something that no one can take away from you. Because it's obvious the fan base is there. The fan base is there for anywhere. You know, the fan base is there for ideas that many people, probably the majority, don't agree with. But you have to go with who owns major networks. You know, like there's like 4 corporations who basically own everything.
Right.
And so you have to get away from that. And so even though the internet can take a lot of things away, a lot of opportunities away from you, you can also create
a lot of opportunities
for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's so cool.
It is cool.
I do love that.
That's my no matter how frustrated I get with podcasting or kind of the unhealthy relationship that it creates between listeners and hosts, I am so grateful, especially for a mouth like mine, that I have this platform that, as long as I don't say anything shitty about the people who listen, I will always have a place to speak my mind openly. And that's what America's all about.
You know, I think I love the wink to the camera.
It's fun to turn. I never, it's
That's
been
what
so
America's
long.
all about.
I felt if I'm gonna, be on film, I should use it. Hey
Absolutely.
guys.
I'm switching between vapes so people can watch that. I'm switching between the Logic and the Juul because they're both on their last legs, battery-wise. So now you know what kind of an addict I am.
Yeah, and this is not a bit. This is exactly the amount that Rosebud would vape. Maybe you're probably vaping a little less.
I'm vaping a lot less. Right now. Okay. I think what's going to happen is that he's going to go. I wonder why Louis hasn't gone on Joe Rogan.
They're both comedians. Do they have any like riffs that we don't know about? They feel like comedians are always fucking mad at each other.
Oh yeah. There is that.
I don't know.
But I don't know about that.
Oh, and speaking of Louis, I also didn't watch this. He released the video.
Oh, yeah. No, he didn't release it. Somebody else fucking did.
Oh, I thought it was like some kind of apology video that he released.
Oh, wait, what?
I think he did. Okay, so we can take a research break, but okay. So number one, right before, like on like Christmas Eve, fucking Kevin Spacey released, we didn't talk about this.
Oh my God.
Okay. So you watched that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you haven't seen this, it didn't get as much play as I feel like it should have because it was so creepy.
So weird.
So Kevin Spacey released like it wasn't an apology video. It was more like it was a
rationalization.
Rationalization and like an apology to himself almost. But he was doing it
as his character.
As
Frank Underwood.
In his own kitchen in an apron.
Like basting a turkey.
It was so weird.
So bizarre. Like a strange hostage video that someone did to themselves.
Yeah, it's like he was auditioning for the role of a rapist and accidentally sent everyone the self-tape. Like that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't, and this is the thing, like, people, we've talked about this many times before, people getting so famous that they don't have anyone around them saying no, because you can tell by the shot that someone else was there. And he can't, like, he doesn't know how to use Final Cut Pro, so someone at least had to edit it.
And nobody said no.
No one said no.
I'm assuming that he's lost, like, his management, his rep, everything. Like, everything's been taken from him, right?
Because I feel like for him...
Not everything's been taken from him, but he lost everything.
Yeah, if he hadn't, I think that if it was just, because it was just a singular accusation for him, right? But I think he could have come back from that. I think he could have.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, I think
I'm not gonna bet my life savings on that.
Well, I think the Me Too movement is handled a little bit differently in the gay community. I think they're a little more.
But what are you basing that off of?
Just like situations with older gay men dating very young gay men is more socially acceptable,
right?
And I think there's something about like that. So if it's gay man on gay man crime, it's kind of a thing that men are going to handle. And I think men are more willing to forgive deviant sexual behavior. That's the answer.
Wow.
I think about that a lot, because just like I like to be a part of the gay community.
I mean, it's still like a generalization, but it's based in things that definite things that are like that exist.
Yeah,
like,
not always.
Older
it's
gay
not
men
okay.
Dating younger gay men that's a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
and truly,
and especially was a thing back in the day. Like,
because it's the man boy love association. It's a real association. I mean, they even joke about it on South Park, but that's a real group. It's not a made up group,
right? I mean, it's as real as an older dude dating a really really young girl. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's like it's I don't think it's any more. You don't see more of it than that, but you see just as much of it. And
and there's a lot of gay men walking around with, I think, these stories that maybe in retrospect they were like, wow, that was like an unhealthy sexual. And I've talked to a couple people recently about it.
But I do still think that I don't think Kevin Spacey would have come back from that.
Really?
Yeah, no. It was too. you know, it was just the amount of hype around it, because I don't even know the fucking details. All right, I just think I'm just basing it off of people's reactions.
Well, he lost his show on his role on House of Cards pretty much immediately.
Immediately, he's dead on the show, just dead. By the way, did you watch the new season?
No, I don't watch House of Cards.
Okay, so
but I love
honestly,
Michael Kelly.
All 5 seasons of House of Cards, not as good as this video. All right, not.
and you like House of Cards?
And I've watched all of them.
Okay.
Not as fucking good as this video. This shit was crazy.
I couldn't believe it. I was driving to my uncle's house on Christmas Eve, and in the back seat, when my dad was driving, and I was like, I have to watch this right now. Everyone, be quiet.
Do you think he was drunk?
He doesn't seem drunk, which is the scarier part.
Yeah, I know.
I mean. And to do it as a character is just
to do it as a character.
And just making a joke out of the whole thing. But I'm like, do you think you're a serious actor? Do you think?
Oh, he's always thought he was a serious actor. This is my favorite thing about actors. They're fucking delusional. All right, they're so like if you ever hear an actor talking about like playing the role of a donkey, they talk about it like it's the most noble work in the world. Okay, and it's fucking not.
Yeah, it's just all.
You wore a donkey costume, asshole. You know, like. He's like, yeah, I was able to really just get into that part of me that was animalistic and likes to hee-haw late at night and rear up and kick things. And it's like, you're talking about a fucking donkey, dude.
That's just, I feel like everyone in the entertainment business is just someone who was born with like debilitating narcissism. And we're like, you know what, how we're going to handle this? We're going to gift it to you in the form of work that we're going to keep making starring ourselves. That's what it is.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
And so I think maybe the rationale was like, well, people are angry at me now, but they're not mad at my character.
Yeah, I think he was like, yeah, he's like, oh, I'll do it as Frank. Or he was like, I still relate so much. I still am Frank Underwood, because he would have, and he's saying weird shit. He's like, you don't want a good boy. And he's like sexually, talking to us a little bit. We're like, are you talking to us? Are you talking
doing some role playing
yourself? Like, what's happened? Are you talking to the guy holding the camera? Like, it was
wild. To FetLife.com afterwards.
He's like, you don't want a good boy. And it's like, dude, put down the turkey, take off the apron, go take a bath, and then take a nap.
Oh my gosh.
Because you are out of your mind.
God.
Oh my God. Does he have kids?
I hope not.
I hope not.
Has he ever been married?
I don't know.
A lot of questions.
A lot of mysteries.
And you know what? This is the one time that I don't feel the urge to even take a reach.
I don't even care.
It doesn't even matter.
All that matters is that this video exists, and I hope to God it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh gosh.
Because it's up there in terms of just like mental snaps. You know what I mean? Like, Lorena Bobbitt is probably on the same level in terms of just like, you fucking snapped, dude.
Rosebud, please look to your left.
Yeah, she has a sign that says Lorena Bobbitt is my spirit animal.
That I held while walking in the Women's March. Did I get photographed a lot? Yes, I did.
Dude, can I tell you something?
Yes, of course.
I fucking did a show in Gainesville, Virginia, where she
there?
Lives.
Oh, I thought she did your show.
No. She is there every week, but they wouldn't introduce me to her. So she was in the audience. Like, she watched.
So you performed for Lorena Bobbitt?
I fucking performed for Lorena Bobbitt.
But wait, so did you see her? Why do you mean they wouldn't introduce you? Just
they wouldn't
Google
show
that
me.
bitch and you could see.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta go back.
All right, well, we
have to fucking interview her. Think of pop culture icons.
Dude, she won't. She changed her name and everything. She's like, they won't.
To what? Lorena Bobbitt?
They won't tell me.
Fuck me.
Like, if you look up Lorena Bobbitt, you're not going to find her on Google.
That's crazy. Okay, I am trying to find that Louis video.
Okay, we're taking a research break. Do I pause it?
Nah. Because maybe they should watch us watch it. I don't know. I'm going to have to edit
I'm going to vape.
I'm going to have to edit this anyway. Ow. It's easier to upload if we don't stop. Okay, so Louis C.K. apology video? I don't even know if it's an apology.
Okay.
Okay, so his apology was not an apology. Oh, that's from the old times. Where's that?
Louis C.K. reacts or responds.
No. These are all old ones. Oh. Yeah, I thought he released some kind of a video. Maybe it was in his fucking, like, newsletter that he does. God damn it.
Responds to.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, these are all 2017. It should be, like, either really late 2018 or early. Yeah. That's 2017 too.
Okay, let's watch this.
Sorry, return it.
Oh, that's okay.
New stand-up set mocks Parkland shooting survivors.
Well, that's just that you've heard about that.
Yeah.
Hinted at change. Okay. Oh yeah, yes. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, if anyone has that video, I'm sure we could. One of our comic friends has it, but I can't believe I haven't seen it posted.
Well, it's not even online, so it might have been taken down.
Yeah, because he doesn't. Louis C.K. doesn't have a Twitter, right? I'm pretty sure he hasn't for years.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think he doesn't. Yeah.
But this was in reaction to people sharing his stand-up set. Which, by the way,
I don't know what the fuck it was. It was just it was everything combined, I think,
Okay.
and it rubbed people the wrong way.
what do you mean was everything combined? Was it
Like sexual assault and like it was some kind of a video defending. I don't know. It was defending himself. It's always defending himself.
Okay. Can I say one thing though?
You can say whatever you want.
The amount of like, so his stand-up set was recorded and leaked, and this is a guy who, you know, he lost his agent, he lost his manager, he lost his show, he lost everything, right?
He's the laughing stock too of
Yeah, and
a lot of things.
right. Well, he's used to laughs. But I will say,
Good one, Rosebud.
but I will say, like all he has is doing stand up. That's all he has to do.
Yeah, that's like he's like Tanya Harding and skating. If you watch the movie,
yeah, there's nothing else for him to do other than do stand up, and that doesn't have like a national platform unless you give it one. So when I watched people sharing his set and then being like, look at all this stuff he's saying, I was like, yeah, but nobody would have even known because that would never make it to, like, he's not going to get a special from that. Like, he's not, you know what I mean?
Well, I also didn't think anything was not a joke in it.
I'll
or
be honest,
horrific. I thought it was funny.
I'll be honest, I thought it was funny too. I was reading it and going, this is pretty funny.
Because, I mean, Louis C.K. was known, that's why he was famous. He was known for talking about the edgiest things and you know, still is known, but just people are, you know, are interpreting it in a different way now. And I think also a lot of people are listening to his comedy that never were the audience for it before the sexual assault and aren't the audience for it after the sexual assault came to light. So, assaults. But, yeah, this is the same person who fucking talked about pedophilia in his SNL monologue.
Yeah.
And he's the only person that could do that. So, yes.
He's talked about his daughter's vagina.
Yeah.
Like, on a special.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you look at it and you go, is the guy creepy? Is he a fucking creep? Does he deserve everything that's happened? Yeah. Yeah, he does. But when I look at it and I go, what are they trying to do when they share his set? Other than share outrage. Because there's nothing that there's nothing that's going to come of this. He's just doing stand-up, which I think he has a right to do. I as a stand-up, I'm like, if I got to that level of success, what he's doing right now is basically the equivalent of like an open mic for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing Governors. I know you guys probably don't know what Governors is, but I mean, it's
I've
interesting.
played Governors,
yeah.
Okay, to give you an idea.
I'll be playing it this year for the first time. Very excited. And it's notoriously a really tough room where you just go and kind of do your set before it's ready for like Manhattan. Really, that's what the room is for.
Yeah.
It's a tough room. People get heckled a lot. That was actually the place where Louis. People think it was a cellar that he did his very first comeback set at. It was actually Governors.
Yeah.
And he bombed.
Yeah. Which
A lot of people bomb
Makes
at
me feel
governors.
better about bombing at governors.
Yeah, a lot
as
of
well.
people bomb at governors. It's kind of like what it's known for.
I bombed real hard.
Fun
at governors.
times. It's fun times. I'm excited to bomb in the future at governors.
Yeah. Oh, I bombed at governors and then was approached. I was shooting the documentary there, and these two Long Island teenagers came up behind me and and were like dancing in the background while I was trying to do an interview.
Oh, that's nice.
Like two tiny Brendan Sagalos, just coming up and like just
no respect for your art.
Yeah, and they were like, "What are you guys doing?" And I was like, "Oh, we're shooting a herpes commercial." And they were 100% down. I was like, "You can do it, but people are gonna think that you have herpes if you do it." And they were like, "Great!" And they just fucking jumped right, like they dove right in.
That's really funny.
I'm really pissed it didn't make it into the doc.
That's
but
really funny.
Yeah, they like chased after those kids' car to get them to sign releases afterwards.
Worth it.
And
and there's also just I don't agree, and I'm not going to get on board with anything where a bunch of fuck faces start deciding what comedians can and cannot say. We can say whatever the fuck we want, and we're the one group that's gonna fight you to the death. And I have my eye on every fucking comedian who is not into the free speech show. And I know comedians have their eyes on me.
I have my eye on every
I know they
single
have their
one
eyes
of
on
you.
me. I if you think I don't
President
know.
of comedy over
You
here.
fucking don't think that you unfollowed me and you think I didn't notice. I fucking do. No, because anytime I take a stance that is outside of whatever the group of feminists decide is the stance, I get attacked like as if I am the queen of feminism.
Right.
So I'm not the president of comedy. I will be running this year though.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. No, it is
Fucking pissed.
It's true. Like I think comedy's kind of splitting off into like two different
funny and not funny
factions. And
Rosebud won't say that. She still has the career to protect.
Listen,
I said goodbye to mine a long time ago.
no, you have a career.
Well,
I don't have one yet, and I'm trying to get one, and you're ruining it for me.
No, my career is only the things I do myself.
Jesus Christ.
And I've kidnapped you into part of it.
Honestly, I'm a hostage. Please send help. Please help.
Oh gosh.
No, but I will, it's two different factions. So there's people that are, I don't know, it's a lot like the world right now, you know? And I think that people want to call it like one faction and another, but the fact is there's so many different perspectives now. Even in politics, there's like I was reading about this thing called the walkaway movement, which was, I think it started by a gay guy, actually, who was a liberal his whole life and was like, I don't even know what this is anymore. And I'm walking away. And I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I said. I've gone rogue. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sashay away.
Yeah. And so there's a bunch of people that just go, oh, this is too extreme and that's too extreme. So I don't even know if I'm anywhere in the middle because I don't agree with anything anyone's saying.
Well, because the branding is so crazy, and I mean, anyone who doesn't think branding is involved in politics, you're wrong.
100% wrong.
And to me, it's a lot. My concern, and why I got so involved in feminism a couple of years ago was because I thought, well, this is a fantastic idea, but it is being branded so poorly, and I was like, I think I can add something to rebranding this in a way where it'll make more people, because it's like if you love something and you want people to get on board, what do? Well, you have to make it palatable for people, and I think a lot of
don't give this shit away to people.
well, just I think a lot of I think I've talked about it before, but I think a lot of people's stance these days is just so like stuck in their ways, which can be good, like standing up for yourself no matter what anyone says, but ideas have to be sold to get people on board, and ultimately you want as many people on your team as possible. So if your branding isn't getting enough people, you got to think about rebranding. If you know your product is good. And that's how I feel about feminism. I know the product is good, but it's right now we got the wrong spokespeople, you know? It's like you got to boot out, you know, Catherine Zeta-Jones to get someone new or wherever. I don't know. I was thinking of T-Mobile. It's the only branding I could think of. That wasn't the right.
Catherine Zeta-Jones doesn't.
I love Catherine Zeta-Jones, but like she's not. I don't think new hip when I think Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah. She does get her pussy eaten a lot though.
I love her. Gorgeous.
And you can tell she's so relaxed.
Classic Hollywood.
Yeah. where are we at in time?
We probably just have one more thing that we can talk about, and I know what it's gonna be.
What is it gonna be?
Amanda Bynes'
Oh, right!
secret Twitter feed. Thank you so much. We had been waiting for an approval on our request, did not get it. A amazing listener, and I'm sorry to use that word on you because we're not using it anymore, but you really are, and I saved it for you this episode, gave me her login so that because she somehow got accepted onto Amanda Bynes' secret Twitter feed, which does have 21.7 thousand followers, which is not a ton.
But now you guys are a select few that get to
see what's going on.
See what's going on in this.
Because we were a couple episodes ago, we were talking about how we were so proud of Amanda Bynes. She was on the up and up. Her Twitter hasn't been, quote unquote crazy recently. She did the photo shoot that was only a little bit airbrushed. And now we find out that we got a DM being like, listen, she's got a whole fake Twitter. She's still her.
It's under Ashley Banks instead of, or is it under?
It's Ashley Banks.
It's at Persian LA 27.
Yeah. And it says, no legitimate news source can print or publish anything that I tweet or say because my name is Ashley Banks. Thanks. And I think we read that on the podcast before. But now we finally got into the feed and have it to read for you. She's number one retweeting a ton of inspirational quotes.
Literal, it's called inspirational quotes.
Inspower Minds is the @ for that account. It's very Patty Millette of her.
Yeah. Life is too short to start your day with broken pieces of yesterday. First of all, that makes no sense at all. It will definitely destroy your good today and ruin your great tomorrow.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. Leave yesterday and start fresh instead of taking the remnants.
I mean,
I guess I should probably be concerned that made sense to me. Struggles are required in order to survive in life because in order to stand up, you got to know what falling down is like. Trite, but okay.
Yeah. Well, they're all pretty trite.
Yeah.
Then she just, this is a weird one from the 28th of December. She just writes vintage in a special font. Nothing else, just vintage, just the word vintage.
And then she goes full on cam girl and just starts asking people to buy her shit. Including like getting her nails done. Oh, and wait, she has an upcoming clothing line. Oh, that's why she tweeted vintage. It's gonna be called Vintage by AB, which is hilarious because none of it's gonna be vintage because she's making it.
Oh my God.
Unless she's like wait, this is something I could see her doing. What if she's like just going to Goodwill's, ripping sleeves off old things and then reattaching them to other pieces at the Goodwill and then selling them? Because they kind of do that shit at Urban Outfitters sometimes.
I'll be honest with you, I'd buy the shit out of that.
Oh, I'm 100% buying it. I'm gonna wear it with the Drew slippers with the smiley face on it.
Yeah, and the Bieber sweatpants that you bought me.
No one can stop us. Okay, so then we went to her Amazon registry because that's not on private.
This is where the fucking gold is, all right? Like her Twitter is, from what I can tell, it's not that crazy, just at first glance. But her Amazon wish list, which is this asking people to buy this shit?
Yeah, it's full. She went full cam girl.
So she's asking people to buy this shit from her?
No. For your Amazon wish list is just she picked the stuff. It's like a wedding registry, but just because you're awesome.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Okay, and I didn't notice this before we first looked at it. There's a note though, so it says personal Christmas wish list, but it's still up even though it's January, and it says, if Cinderella went back to pick up her shoe, she would have never become a princess. For privacy reasons, I will be having my gift sent to my BFF and future assistant Drita to either California or New York, depending on the dates. What? That's so much information for someone who's trying to be private.
Also, like, how... if this is not her, this is fucking genius.
Yeah, whoever you are, we salute you.
I wish I were you.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? Hensley collection, Amy Winehouse sweatshirt, 1983 birthday year t-shirt, perfect tea gift.
Yeah, so it's like a sweatshirt, but it looks like a Amy Winehouse jersey. Like if Amy Winehouse came back from the dead and then played football, this is what she would wear. It says
Winehouse and then 83, which was the year of her birth, I guess.
Very weird.
Let's see.
And then she has...
How many cat houses?
Okay, so she has a lot of different cat condos here. So here's one. Then she has...
And they all look like actual
houses.
Homes.
Two.
Like in Long Island.
3, 4. So there's 4 cat houses so far and a cat couch.
And a cat condo.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, and then here's a dog bed. How many animals does this girl have?
Listen, I'm not one to...
I mean, yeah. And then there's just one thing that we also noticed is there's just so much cheap shelving.
Dude, there are so many like 4-tier shelving units that you just build yourself that are just like aluminum.
And then there's a fake Louis Vuitton mirror.
A fake one?
Yeah, because it's $25. It's not a real Louis Vuitton.
Oh shit, yeah.
It's like a authentic, it's repurposed. So basically someone took a purse, cut it apart in pieces, and then glued one of the LVs onto this little handheld compact mirror, and it's selling it on Amazon for $25.
Okay, there's also a purse organizer, like something that you put into your purse. I'm like, these are things that you could easily buy for yourself if you're her. Like, I'm like...
It's just a weird amount.
This is actually making me think that this isn't her, because this shit is so cheap.
Yeah, but maybe like her logic is, I am not famous enough that people are going to be buying me really expensive things. So I'll buy like the expensive few items I want myself, and then just kind of my day-to-day laundry list of shit I'll
just let
have other people buy. Because think about it, like I would probably buy her something for $25.
Yeah,
I mean, I would
point.
just to say that I bought her something.
How much do you charge on Cameo?
33. I'm unbookable right now though.
Why?
I just left it on for the holidays because it's a fucking pain in the ass and not at all worth the money. Thanks to everyone who purchased.
Okay, well, book me on Cameo for fuck's sake, all right?
Why? How much do you charge on Cameo?
30.
Oh, okay.
But somebody said I charge more than Perez Hilton, and I was like...
He charges like $19.99, but his is pretty low. It depends. I mean, and then there's people like Chris D'Elia. Chris D'Elia charges like $5,000, if not more.
Really?
Yeah.
Smart. These LA people are fucking smart.
Andy Dick does definitely in the hundreds, and he gets a lot of requests actually. His videos are quite good though, because you also have to check, like Andy Dick is going above and beyond in his videos.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also probably his full paycheck these days though, so I'm not sure. I love you, Andy, but please stop drinking. I mean,
I don't know Andy.
He's such a special human being when he is sober. But I don't know, I'm not sober, but a lot of people do, and it's not great.
I relate then.
Yeah, he's very interesting.
These are pajama pants.
Okay.
What do we have?
Slippery apparel designer.
Oh wait, no. That's a designer head wrap.
But it looks like pants. Oh, I guess they just put it in a V.
Okay.
I wonder if this is accessible to everyone. Probably. It's just a bunch of numbers.
Anyway, she's out there.
Yeah.
She's out there, she's doing weird shit. It's not that weird, honestly. It's like a wish list. The number of cat condos and houses is excessive.
I like it, but she's gotten to the point where it's fun when celebrities are accessible enough over social media. Like Chrissy Teigen is taking it to a great point as an example. But then when you can see like how your bathroom closet is organized, I think that's too much.
Yeah.
Because that ruins the allure of celebrity. We don't want to know that you use the same shitty Target organizer that we use. I
say we should, because honestly, the more we see it, the less we put people on a pedestal and then like try to tear them down.
Oh, I thought you were like, and then the less we want.
It's like, if you see how my bathroom looks, are you really going to be surprised when I disappoint you? No.
Your bathroom's pretty nice. I love that wood slat thing that you can stand on while you're doing your...
Thank you.
Your sink stuff.
Thank you so much.
Special. I've never seen that in anyone else's house before.
Yeah, I wash my ass in my sink. That's why she called it sink stuff. No, I don't. But if you saw that, would you be surprised if I disappointed you? No.
Wait, you've never washed your ass in your sink? I feel like I have once.
You have?
Not in this one, but back in the day when things were getting real weird.
I can't think of a time.
I definitely splashed faucet water at like a dude's house into my asshole.
Wow.
But I didn't fully put my ass like in it, under it, like a
Did
water
he have baby?
fountain.
Yeah, I guess he didn't have baby wipes or something.
No, guys, no. Not the kind I fuck, at least.
Yeah, dude, you gotta have baby wipes. If you respect yourself.
I carry them with me, like a Lola wipe.
There you go.
Or like with the other, there's another brand that Unbound makes, like, they're called like Bushies, which is a weird name, but whatever. I don't know.
Gross.
Yeah, it sounds like a name that you would tell a toddler to call her vagina.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Can you imagine if you met a parent that made her kid call her vagina a bushi? I'd be like, you're not fit.
Not fit at all.
I'd be like,
right.
You're not fit to parent. All right, what's making you less lonely this week, Corinne?
Oh, forgot again. But that's just we're doing these back to back. What's making me feel less lonely this week? Oh, you know what? Rabbits. I have an obsession with rabbits.
I love rabbits.
Not living ones. Just like rabbit. So like if you notice, I have a rabbit head in my coffin. That's a weird sentence. It's not an act. It's like it's from it's made out of felt.
Oh my God.
But okay, so there's a story behind this though.
Hold on a second. You tell the story. I'll be right back.
Oh God. Be careful. My coffin is now a display case in my own home.
Story.
So there was this furniture and like home design store around the corner from the spa that I worked at as a receptionist for many years when I was trying to make my comedy dreams come true. And I would pass by it every day, and there was this huge porcelain rabbit that was in the middle of one of the tables, and it was just the most ridiculous thing I ever saw. And I promised myself, I was like, you're gonna become successful enough soon that you're gonna be able to spend money on this fucking crazy porcelain rabbit, because it's just like one of these acts of like, I made it and I have full control of my life now, and that's why I bought this rabbit and no one can tell me differently. And I remember one of the first, James one time asked me like, if you become rich, what's the first thing you're gonna buy? On one of our first dates, and I told him about that rabbit, and then he like definitely was very impressed with that answer because it was completely insane.
This was on, hold on.
To say that.
This was on display. If you're watching on YouTube, this was on display in a coffin in Corinne's apartment.
It's not like a real coffin. It's a custom made coffin out of barnwood.
It's a real fucking coffin. That's as real as a coffin gets.
Well, I mean,
custom made coffin.
It's an old timey coffin. In these days, you wouldn't be buried in something like that.
It's not a plastic coffin.
It's not a plastic coffin.
And so why did you put this in there?
Because I had Christmas decorations in there, and I got that from Target because I needed to own it, but I didn't really have a place for it, and I felt like the coffin was the place for it.
I'm gonna be the first to say, the coffin is definitely not the place for it. Two things.
To each your own.
Could two things not go together any more than this rabbit head and a fucking coffin from the 1800s?
This is why we're different. I don't know what to tell you, Rosie.
Oh my God.
Okay, well.
She really is a Pisces rising, ladies and gents. A real Pisces rising. Just two fishes swimming in two opposite directions.
Thank you.
One in the direction of a stuffed rabbit head and the other in the direction of a fucking coffin. What's making me less lonely this week? I'm gonna go ahead and say my new roommate. I got a new roommate. Her name is Marley. It's like Marley and Me, but if everyone lived. So...
Alfred, I'm sorry you had to be here for that.
Sorry, Alfred.
Oh, God.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in this week, you guys.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.